Hello there, creatives. All right, so got a challenge today. Um, this guy has a hoodie, which I'm mimicking here. So this would be the back of the hoodie, and then the very front of the hoodie. Um, you would actually want a stitch template to actually get this to work right. But this is just an example of how you get it to visually wrap and be proper compared to the actual stitch template. What do you call it? A pattern. So you want a stitch pattern to actually be broken down to actually do it. But if you're just wanting to do it just visually, just to show off the client to the idea, this is how you do it. So I have this element here, and it's actually broken into two to where there's a slight gap in between because that would be what the stitch line for the hoodie would be, and it won't be. Oh, I gotta reverse this. Transform. Left. There we go. This would be the front, this would be the back, and this is the pattern that you want to get to wrap from front to back visually. So what I would do is this object here, let me pull it up here, symbols. So I have my symbols palette out here. I'm just going to go ahead and deselect everything, select all the symbols that are in here, and I'm going to delete because I don't need any of their stuff that they have in there. Then what I'm going to do is get this roughly to size of the size that it would need to be. And then keep in mind that the top is the top and the bottom is the bottom. So the back, you're going to visually see it has top to bottom. And then from the front, you're going to see from um, bottom to top because it's coming around from the back side. So I'm going to turn this into a symbol. I'm going to not let it be dynamic. I'm going to turn it to a static. I'm going to label it web. All right. And what that did is now it turned it into something that I can come into easily to update, add more elements to it or whatever I need to do. Then, as you see here, the hoodie is a gray hoodie, and then I have an outline. The best option for me to get this to work right is because these are two separate objects in my layer over here. I'm going to go ahead and group them. So I have the group, and I'm going to say back hood. Um, Making sure that everything is labeled and proper is going to help you out when you need to come back in and edit. And then what I'm going to do is for the back hood, what I'm going to do is actually copy it. And then with it copied, I'm going to come over to my Pathfinder and then I'm going to make compound shape. And that actually broke the original hood, but it still kept the name inside here. And then I'm going to control F to paste in front. So that way I have my original back. And then with this one selected, I'm going to bring it above the web layer here. And I'm going to select the web behind it and then right click, make clipping mask. Now it's inside there, but the outline is not. So then I'm going to come back down here to my original hood, duplicate it again, and then I'm going to bring it up. And then I'm going to go in here to each one of the items selected. And then I'm going to go over to my appearance, double click on contents, select the stroke. Oops, not the stroke, the fill, and delete the fill. So now my stroke is on top. And then with that still selected, I'm going to select the bottom hood, which is the fill and the stroke. And then I'm going to select, oops, shift select the hood with the web. Oops, select the wrong one. There we go. Group. Now this will be labeled back hood filled. So now rather than going in and trying to edit this, now what I could do is do the same thing over here. But what I'm going to do is bring out the symbol and I'm going to rotate it 180. So the top, and since the web just ended just before it goes over the crest, I'm going to figure out approximately where that would be. And then now I'm going to do the same thing to this one. This is front hood. I'm going to control C, Then I'm going to go into Pathfinder, make compound shape. So it still is individual pieces and still has the original name in it. Control F to keep that one in front. And then going to the web, Control F again. And this one, I should have no fill. And then we're going to bring the web below the front hood, or sorry, below this, at the front hood at the bottom. Selecting these two with the compound shape and the web, right click, create clipping mask, and now everything's the same. I'm gonna go and select those two other objects, group it together, and then just go front hood filled. So now, if I want to edit this web, instead of going in and trying to edit on the hood, I just double click on my symbol. And what I could do is go back into my gallery here, go back in and grab the spider. Because let's say I forgot the spider. And remember, top is top, bottom is bottom. So if I place this here and double click out, it's there. And if I want another spider on the front, I can either double click in and isolate and do that so I can see approximately where it is. I can now come in here and add another spider. This one will be on the front side. So that's one way you can clip that in there. Um, the other way would be draw within. I don't recommend that because I like this way so that it's dynamic, so that you can come and edit your original art file. Like I said, double click in till you get it isolated, keeps it in place so that you have a little bit more of a reference of where it is. And now if I move this web, let's say I wanted to move it to where more of the center of the web is towards the center of the back of the head kind of thing, you can adjust this and it would adjust live. So this is what it would look like on the front because I moved it down towards the back more. So it pulled it from the front. Like I said, when you're actually printing, you're going to want the actual stitch pattern to have it broken down and you're going to line it up on that. Ideally, what you would have done is had the stitch pattern and you would have warped the stitch pattern from a symbol to the actual object that you're referencing. So that way the warp would actually be correct. So whatever angle you view it from, it would be correct on that. Ideally, then you'd use Photoshop dimensions and you would actually get a 3D hoodie that is actually from your stitch pattern that you're going to print on and actually map things through Photoshop to reference how it's exactly going to look. But that's like if you're doing like product modeling and you don't want to have an actual studio of models and product that you have in there. So good luck and let me know how it goes.